Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Gary Owen, the Get Some podcast. And my guest this week is...
This motherfucker Gary.
What up, everybody? This is Gary Owen with the Get Some podcast. You see it. Just start that out with a little banger. We're going to start off with my schedule. This Friday, April 25th, I'm at the Paramount Hudson Valley Theater in Peekskill, New York. April 26th, I'm at the Parks Casino in Bensalem, Pennsylvania. I believe it's sold out. So sometimes these theaters and casinos that release tickets the day of. So check back. But as of now, it's sold out. And then May 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, I'm at the Mic Drop Comedy Club in San Diego, California. Three shows are sold out. We're definitely going to add a few more. So if you're looking for a show on a certain day, just keep checking back. You can always go to my website, GaryOwen.live, and all the links will be on there for all the cities. Then May 9th through the 11th, I'm at Tommy T's in Pleasanton, California. May 16th through the 18th, I'm at the LOL Comedy Club in San Antonio, Texas. May 23rd through 25th, I'm at the Addison Improv in Dallas, Texas. Well, Addison, Texas, suburb of Dallas. And then May 30th through June 1st, I'm at Stand Up Live in Phoenix, Arizona. And then June 5th, I'm at the Bama Theater in Tuscaloosa, Alabama for the first time ever. And then June 6th through the 8th, I'm in Dania Beach, Florida at the Dania Improv. And then, like I said, the big one for me, July 12th, Palms Casino, Pearl Theater, Las Vegas, Nevada. That's where I'll be, baby. That's the big one for me. Over the next couple months, the big show for me is July 12th in Vegas, Palms Casino, Pearl Theater. Bang 'em. Boom. Get it. That's where I'll be. Last weekend I was in Houston. I did 2 weeks in Houston, Texas. 13 shows. We sold out 11 of the 13. Even the 2 that wasn't sold out was dang near sold out. So, man, a lot of love to Houston, my new hometown. They just treat me so good here, man. For instance, this podcast airs on Thursdays. I'm recording this Wednesday night. As soon as I get done recording, I'm in the car headed to the SZA Kendrick Lamar concert. And, somebody at the stadium invited me to sit with them, and I'm going to go. Somebody works at the stadium. I'm like, they give me so much love here in Houston, boy. And you got the Rockets, you got the Astros, got the Texans. It's just, I'm always going to be right here. You already know where my heart is, but my kidneys are with the Texans. That's what it is. It's like I needed a new kidney and Houston donated it. So I got 2 kidneys. One belongs to the Bengals and the other one belongs to Houston. We'll put it like that. Houston's been a beautiful donor. So such a great city. And then my son came, Austin, last week to spend Easter with us and his brothers. And so that was awesome in itself. So he loves Houston. He was like, dog, Houston. And then all my openers, I had 2 of my openers, T-Robe and Adam Fink, they both were like, man, I could live in Houston. I mean, there's a reason why people are moving here. Because the city's a shit. What can I say? This is the shit. Good restaurants. Everybody's friendly. Summer's a little hot. But other than that, Houston's a special place, baby. So obviously there's a few things in the news. Shannon Sharpe. We're going to get that in a second. Hold on. God bless me. A couple things I want to get to. A couple things I don't want to forget. When I was in Houston last week, there was a lady came up to me. Her name was Carla Smith, and I do my meet and greets. And she asked if she could speak to me after a meet and greet. She really wanted to share a story with me, and she wrote a little note on a napkin and gave it to T-Row, and T-Row brought it to me. And seemed like you could tell when somebody's BSing and somebody's got a real story to tell you. Well, she had a real story, and let me make sure I get her IG out, because I told her I would share the story. I want to get her correct IG out. So, just a second. It's funny when I need something, everything's going smooth, but then as soon as I try to type something in, everything's running slow. Hold on. And why are my allergies acting up? Oh my gosh. Why is this happening now? Why does the internet run slow as soon as I get on my podcast? It's been running fast. As soon as I need to look something up. No, we're going to slow it down a little bit. So her IG is Carla Smith _realtor. And she's a realtor, but she got other stuff going on. She also has Carter's Tax Angels and Bookkeeping. She does tax repair, credit services. Credit repair, helps with taxes, all that stuff. So, yeah. So we'll put her IG on here. Carla Smith. So she tells me, she comes in the green room, sit down, her, and I got T-Row in the green room with me, and she tells me how her son passed away in 2016, her husband passed away in 2018, and she's been coming to see me for like 10 plus years. Then she shows me a picture of her and her husband before he passed, and she knew jokes that I forgot. I was like, she was talking about, because I sell merch after my shows. And she goes, yeah, I got the black shirt where you had the gray face on it. And you said, someone in the audience one time said, I have a black face on my shirt. And I was like, you can't put a black face on a black shirt. You wouldn't see the face. The face is gray. I was like, dang, you remember that? That wasn't even a joke that was in a special or even in my act. That was just something I said one night on stage when somebody yelled that out. So the fact she remembered that. And, it was cool. We spent about probably close to 30 minutes talking, listening. And she basically said, like, everything she'd been through, like when her and her husband, before he passed, was together, I was their favorite comedian. And then once he passed, she wasn't really smiling or laughing, but then she'd go to my YouTube page or my social media and she'd look stuff up and, just made her laugh. And it's interesting because sometimes you forget as comedians what we do for people. It was funny because I was talking to that one mailman, and I was, I don't say I'm his mentor. I'm just like, I'm a guy that I'm just somebody he can call if he needs help or questions on the road. And, he was with me for a while, but now he's doing his own thing, which how it should be. It's a natural progression. But he called me and there was one city where he didn't have the ticket sales he wanted. And that's going to happen in this business. Hell, Kings of Comedy didn't sell out every show when they first went on the road. There's going to be, in this business as comedians, there's going to be times where you sell more tickets than you ever have in a city, and you're wondering like, whoa. And there's going to be times where you don't sell as many tickets as you hoped in a city. It just happens. But Mailman, he had a show recently, I think somewhere in Florida, and his ticket sales wasn't what they wanted. And he had made a call to his manager at the time and said, man, I don't even know if I want to go for this little bit of ticket sales. So you got to realize, Mailman, he came out like gangbusters. Like his first time he ever went on sale was in Cincinnati, Ohio, and he sold out 2 shows like that. And I remember telling him and his people, I go, this ain't normal. Like you're gonna hit a brick as far as ticket sales every now and then. Nobody comes out the gate, especially somebody from social media, and just starts selling out everywhere in advance like that. But there will be times it happens. And so with the fact that he came out like gangbusters, and now I think he's kind of hit a plateau where he'll tell me like his social media was, but he was new. So you hit a plateau, and then something will come along and you won't see it coming. It'll be a joke. It'll be a sketch. It'll be just something he says on current events, and you'll hit a bump, and then it'll plateau again. And sometimes you go a little down. Sometimes it plateaus. It's just what it is. You can't explain it. It's no similar than you post a video out and you think a video is going to get 1 million some views and it gets like 30. And then a video you think I'm just throwing up there for whatever reason gets millions. I mean, look at Matt Rife. He shares a story of how the video that blew him up off TikTok, he wasn't going to post. And his boy was like, dude, post that. That's good. And he posted it and woke up next morning, bing, through the roof. So Mailman was saying, like, there was a city in Florida that where ticket sales wasn't what he wanted. And he said, man, I don't even know if I want to fly down there for a little bit of ticket sales. And I was like, he can't look at it like that. I said, you got to look at it like, hey, I'm not taking a loss. I've sold enough tickets that I'm going to make some money this weekend. It might not be what I'm used to, but I am going to make some money. I'm also getting stage time. I've been doing stand-up a little over a year. And I'm glad this lady from Carla talked to me because I talked to Mailman literally the day after I talked to her. And I didn't share her story, but I just shared a story. I said, dude, you don't know what people are going through. There could be somebody whose best friend, son, anybody committed suicide, and they're down the dumps, and they're just nothing makes them laugh, nothing makes them smile, and they come across your video, and you're the one that made them laugh, you're the one that made them smile. And you might have 50 tickets sold in a city, but one of those 50 is that person who lost somebody in their life, and you're the one that made them smile. So they're going to come see you because you're their guy. And that's what makes stand-up bigger than just ticket sales and jokes. And I guarantee you that person will always come back to see you, a la Carla Smith in Houston. And they're always going to tell their friends. And your name's going to come up at every family function, and they're going to show videos of you. And that's how that snowball effect takes off, and people just start talking. So I tried to stress to him, keep that in mind when you start getting frustrated in the business. Because Mailman had a weekend where he was a little frustrated. And then he went into the show, had the best time. He said, man, the crowd was fire and did good on merch. Club wants him back. I mean, so you're building relationships at this point. So, yeah, I think we forget that sometimes. And I'm guilty of it too. So I think that meeting with her came right on time for me to share that with Mailman when he was frustrated a little bit over one city where he had ticket sales. But in other cities, you're packed out and you're sold out. So, we just got to always keep that in mind as stand-ups, man. This is so much bigger than just numbers and everything. You just never know what people are going through. So on a personal note, what I'm going through is April 22nd, my comedy special came out on mintcomedy.com. It's called Gary Owen, no S. It's tough because there's so much free stand-up. We've conditioned people to get stuff for free. So when you put it on a pay site like Mint Comedy, it has to be something that people really want to see before everybody else. So my comedy special, Gary Owen No S, it's on mintcomedy.com right now. You can purchase it, just a one-time fee. It's yours for the rest of your life. Nobody's seen it yet. The jokes are all new. And I've told the story, but when I did Broken Family, which is on YouTube right now, you can check that out. I did it on Friday, and Saturday I woke up. Me and my manager was like, yo, I got a new hour. And we did the new hour, and it's out now on Mint Comedy. And my manager called me, and she directed it. And if you get it all on mintcomedy.com, she does a director's narrative, which I think is cool. It gives a behind-the-scenes look from not the artist's point of view, but the director's point of view of how this all came together, the hiccups we had the night of, my process. And it's just cool. You're peeling back the curtain. So I hope everybody watches my special. It's good. And I did this on purpose on this special. And this was intentional. There's no race jokes. There's not one black-white joke in this special. And some people was like, well, the few people I talked to in my circle, they're like, well, you can't let the internet just have you dictate what you're going to say. I said, no. This was something I wanted to do. I wanted to not prove to myself, but also to prove to those people on social media, like, oh, his jokes are black-white. I want to be like, well, what are you going to say now? Because this whole hour, there ain't one mention of black-white nothing. It's an hour of just funny material. So I did that for myself. It reminded me of when I first started doing stand-up. I just want to get on stage. But the places I could get on stage was the quote-unquote black nights, the black rooms. So I was hitting all the urban spots. And even when I first got to LA, the only places I could get up was Comedy Act Theater, Mavericks Flat, Chocolate Sundays at the Laugh Factory, Fat Tuesdays at the Comedy Store on Tuesdays. The Improv Black Night was Monday night on Melrose. Those are the only places I can get up. So my stand-up started to go very left towards black people. And I said, and then I remember I did a show in Salt Lake City, and it was all white people in the audience. And I went, oh, snap. I actually was a little nervous. And I went, oh, a lot of my jokes might go over their head if they're not familiar with, hip hop culture or black terminology and things like that. So I was like, oh, I'm glad I had that show in Salt Lake, because I was like, all right, you gotta write your jokes that even if you're not familiar with this world, you can understand it. So I'm glad that happened to me. So with this special, I was like, you know what? I purposely, because even when we was writing it out, me and my manager, there was a couple jokes I go, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that in this special. Because I had the hour on Friday that's Broken Family. And then Saturday, Gary Owen came. I probably had an hour and a half of material, but we was like, we're going to narrow it down to this hour. I think this is the solid hour. A lot of military stuff. A lot of stuff I want to get out there that I felt was going to be dated. I was getting tired of telling these jokes because jokes have a shelf life. And I'm happy with it. And it's different. I think it's different than any special I've done as far as just the content of it. So, again, I know I'm beating a dead horse, but mintcomedy.com, Gary Owen, no S. Just a one-time, I think it's $13. That's it. It's yours. And then I'm please comment your honest opinion on it. I know it's all going to be good. It ain't going to be bad. I don't put out bad shit. So yeah, go see it. And let me pat myself on the back. 2 specials. Last one came out in October. So what is it, April? So May, June, July, August, September, October. 2 specials in 6 months. Get at your boy. 2 hour specials, 6 months apart. Beast. That's what I'm saying. Broken Family's on YouTube, and the Gary Owen No S is now on mintcomedy.com. So when you see it, just know if you saw Broken Family, you've seen the clips all through social media. Hopefully you watched the whole thing on YouTube. I am wearing the same outfit with the same backdrop because the plan was to do one special Friday and Saturday night. Just so happened I do one Friday, one Saturday, same outfit, same backdrop. Then maybe we'll put them both together and just release a 2-hour special. We could do that too. We'll see. So anyways, yes, that's good. Hey, this is Gary Owen, and this podcast is brought to you by Blue Chew. Now, you know, my favorite sponsor of my podcast, see, I'm getting tongue-tied just thinking about it, is Blue Chew. I love it. I love it. It just gives the confidence that a man needs when it's time to do the deed. And then look at your muscles to get like that. Yeah. Just makes your face like this. Yeah. I love Blue Chew. It's the best. You don't want to go into battle with no bullets in the gun. You want to be loaded up, ready. The Blue Chew's, listen, Blue Chew's only goal is to make sure every guy has that confidence and that ability to perform when it's time to perform. That's all Blue Chew wants. They just want to make everybody happy. They want to make you happy. They want to make your partner happy. They just want a happy world behind closed doors. That's it. That's the only goal of Blue Chew. So listen, make life easier by getting harder. I'm going to say it again. Make life easier by getting harder. And you know how you do that? You discover your options at BlueChew.com. We got a special deal for our listeners. Try your first month of Blue Chew free when you use promo code GETSOME. And you just got to pay $5 for shipping. That's it. So that's promo code GETSOME. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring this podcast. Speaking of stand-up, Joe Coy, Gabriel Iglesias just had a huge announcement. Those two are going to come together and do a show March 21st, 2026, SoFi Stadium, 70,000 seats. What's crazy, I've known both those guys since the beginning of their career. I met them both probably late 90s when we was all just kind of open micing, and to see their rise, it's unbelievable. I love this business. And they're good guys too. Gabe's a good dude. Joe's a good dude. But I think that's cool. They're going to bring the Filipino and the Mexicans together just to be on that show. I'm going to call them and see if I kind of want to do a guest spot on that show. I just want to be a part of it. Maybe I can host unannounced. I don't want to take time away from the regular guys though. But I'm going to call them and be like, yo, you got a guest spot? I'm down. I just want to be a part of it. Just to feel what that's like. Oh, shit. On my own schedule, I forgot. May 5th, I'm in Tacoma, Washington at Nate Jackson's Super Funny Comedy Club. I forgot I'm doing the first Monday of every month. My bad. I know this is like the ADHD podcast right now, but May 5th, I'm in Tacoma at the Nate Jackson Super Funny Comedy Club. Oops, forgot to put that in there. So, anyways, let's go ahead and get in this. Well, before we get into Shannon Sharpe, Pope died on, did he die on Easter or the day before Easter? When did the Pope die? On Easter Monday. 88 years old. Cardinal Kevin Farrell, Carmelengo, Holy Roman Church, yeah. So I think 50 Cent had a funny thing on the Pope, but they're like, the Pope probably saw with it. I said the Pope probably, I think he met with JD Vance the night before, and he probably was like, saw where the world was going. Was like, you know what? Now's a good time to go. I'm gonna dip out. To die the day after Easter? Is there a more fitting way to go as the Pope? I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to die on Christmas, the day after Christmas, or Easter, the day after Easter? One or the other. Those are the 4 days. Is the fitting way to go if you're the Pope and you want people to believe, is right there. So anyways, let's get into Shannon Sharpe. I don't want to say fiasco, but man, Unc. Now listen, I'm not one of these guys I don't like to jump on people when they're at their lowest. So this isn't going to be a beat up Shannon Sharpe moment. Similar to like a couple months ago, Matt Barnes, the basketball player, was going through it. He got caught out there with his wife or fiance, and he got caught out there, and she released names and everything else. And I purposely did not talk about it on my podcast because I was like, I'm not about to be that guy just to beat up and jump on Matt Barnes for clicks. But since Matt Barnes has finally started talking about it and addressing it, it's funny that now this stuff with Shannon Sharpe comes out, because I was going to just talk about Matt Barnes a little bit. And I thought it was interesting that Matt Barnes, he talked about it on his podcast, and he talked about it with, what was that guy's name? Matt Barnes Comes Clean. Matt Barnes. Jesus, my phone's trying to get me to call him. Anyways, he was on his podcast, and he had a gentleman on there. God, I can't remember his name. I feel awful. I don't even know what to look up. But he's a dude. You've seen him on YouTube videos. He's like a martial arts instructor. He takes these kids and he'll really push them. And if they start crying, he asks them why you're crying. He's got a very calming demeanor, and he really brings a side of kids out that they need. And he said, it's okay to cry. It's okay to be in your feelings. Now, what are you going to do to fix how you're feeling and things like that? So when Matt Barnes was talking to this gentleman, he was in a safe space to talk about, how his childhood affected his adult decisions. And he said, I can give love. I don't know if I'm able to receive it. Such a deep thought. And me having a fucked up childhood too, I was really took a lot of that conversation with Matt, and I was listening to it like, wow, I understood where he was coming from. And then his fiance, I don't know if fiance or wife, she chimed in like, Matt, she basically like went in on him for saying you just want sympathy. You're not thinking about the kids when you talk about this stuff. And it really reminded me of my ex and me. Every time I would talk about it, there would be a post of how I'm a narcissist or how I'm just doing this for sympathy and things like that. And there really isn't a good way to talk about it. I completely understand the woman's side of things. If you've been cheated on numerous times, it hurts. It hurts to rehash it and everything else. So I wasn't one of these kids just going to jump on against Matt Barnes' fiance, just like I never wanted to go against my ex. I mean, they went through a lot and it hurts. So, but at what point where is a man supposed to talk about it? That was a safe place. The gentleman Matt Barnes was talking to, that was a safe place for him to bring this up. And he felt open enough to share it with him. And he probably was just looking for advice. And I don't think he was looking for sympathy. I was never looking for sympathy when I talked about it. Sometimes you just want to talk. It's easier to talk about things than to suffer in silence. So that's what I was going to talk about this week a little bit. So I just did. But now Shannon Sharpe thing came out. And I was like, whoa, that just trumped everything. And I don't want to be a guy to jump on Shannon Sharpe. Listen, it's a little age gap there, 56 and 20. When they met, he was 54 and she was 19 or 20. It's just like, you could tell in the phone call she's young when she was talking to Shannon Sharpe. I was like, how old is this chick? I do think it's a shakedown. I don't. I'm trying to get my words together. I don't want to say anything take anything out of context here. I don't want to be the guy to judge people and tell you who you're supposed to date, who you're supposed to sleep with. I do think I say just be very careful. If you have a lot of money and you are famous and you are of a certain age, just be careful who you're sleeping with and make sure that the girl is mature enough and doesn't have a hidden agenda so this doesn't happen. Let me see. I don't want to be a hypocrite because I'm with someone younger than me. Not this big of an age gap, but it's an age gap. It's almost like you go back to the GQ method. You cut your age in half plus 7, and that's how men of status and power and money should be dating. So if you're 50, you should be dating a girl 32. 25 plus 7 is 32. And that's kind of what I'm doing. That's kind of the age gap I'm with right now. Almost to the T, actually. So I don't want to be the one like, but I do think 19, what are you talking about? What are we doing here? But here's the thing, and no one wants to say this. What if that's the best sex Shannon Sharpe's ever had in his life? Head game's crazy. Vagina's crazy. She's doing anything he wants. Just freaking off crazy. It's so easy for us from the outside looking in to jump on Shannon and be like, how could you? That's disgusting. But dudes know, if that was just the best he ever had, it's hard to tell man, stop, don't. But I do think there's an inner, something in our brains tell you, hey, this might go left, or something don't feel right about this. There's, I think all guys in our industry, entertainment, whether it's athletes, singers, comedians, we've all dealt with like not so, how can I put this? We've all dealt with women with like, it seems like they have an agenda. They're trying to get something out of us. And then if you don't do what they say, then there's threats made. I think just about everybody's been through that at some point. Just like I think any woman that's dated and continues to date men in the industry, whether it's NFL, NBA, comedians, actors, singers, like I'm sure nobody got it right the first time. I'm sure if you continue to date guys in that genre, you're going to get quote unquote burned, or you thought you were the only one you weren't. That's just the business we're in. That's the life we choose. No reason to bitch about it. Just going to happen. It's going to happen to girls on that end. You're probably going to realize you weren't the only one. And then on guys, you're going to mess with a girl that had an agenda. You just hope it doesn't get this bad. You hope it's in the beginning. I don't know if I shared this story before, but when I first started headlining, got my first movie held up, I had a girl that tried to take advantage, like completely, like said I got her pregnant. I didn't. Like, I was like, I never even like finished in you. What are you talking about? And she calls me, says she's pregnant. I said, what are you gonna do? She said, I want to get an abortion. I said, okay. And keep in mind, I'm like 24 and I'm freaking out. And I said, all right. So that's what we were gonna do. In the middle of us planning it, I get the movie held up and they tell me I got to go to Canada. I'm like, shit. Now I can't even be there to make sure this is all legit. I still don't know if this is legit. There's still a part of me going, wait a minute. She just found out I got the hosting job on BET. She just found out I got a movie with Jamie Foxx. So right now, even though I wasn't some multimillionaire, I don't know why people think you do a movie, you get a TV show, you're just rolling in the dough, because you're not. You're making okay money, but it ain't something you can survive off of for the rest of your life or even the rest of the year. But she finds this out and she goes, I'm pregnant. I went, and so we decide, yeah, we had an abortion. I'll never forget, $325. That's how much she said it was. I said, all right, send it to her. I'm calling her just about every day. I'm up in Canada shooting a movie. I'm calling her. She put on the voice. Yeah, everything's good. I got it taken care of. I think at one point she called me like right after. She was still like acting like she was coming out of anesthesia. Like the girl was acting. And then I was like, all right, I thought we're good. It's taken care of. Then she kept calling. And I slowly started to not answer every phone call and everything. So I'm trying to give her the hint like, hey, we're not together. We're not dating. This is it. And then I get the voicemail. Hey, this is so-and-so. I see you haven't been responding to me like you used to. So I just want to let you know that I'm still pregnant and you're going to hear from my lawyer. And I went, what? So then my stomach drops again. So then, then my boy, who lived in San Diego at the time, because I'm in LA, and I'm living in LA. This girl's in San Diego. Then my boy's, he's always going out at nightclubs and all the black nightclubs. There's only so many black nightclubs you can go to in San Diego. And then he tells me, yeah, I saw so-and-so at the club. I said, shut up. You saw her at the club? And he was like, yeah. I go, did she have a belly? He goes, nah. And at this point, she would have been like 4 or 5 months. I was like, well, she wasn't pregnant. I don't think she ever was pregnant. Yo, she got me for $325. I know it's not something to laugh about, but that was on a smaller scale. I'm glad it happened to me early. So I was able to, the rest of my entertainment career, I was able to navigate. Something don't feel right, it's probably not right. If a girl sends you a crazy text message or a girl saying, send me a picture of this and this, don't videotape yourself. That's the one thing I would say. Fellas, don't videotape yourself having sex. Don't. That stuff can get released. Your phone can get stolen. It can get out there. Just don't. Just put it in the spank bank, the memory bank up here. Because girls, I think, Shannon Sharpe's like, they're going to release 30 seconds. He goes, nah, release the 10 minutes. I was like, what is on that 30 seconds that most guys, if they got a 10-minute sex, they're like, okay, just release 30 seconds. I don't want all 10 out there. Shannon's the other way. Shannon's like, nah, I want all 10, baby. What is on that 30 seconds? It's got to be I'm talking throwing her around, talking reckless. It's like, what in the Road Runner Wile E. Coyote is going on in that 30 seconds that he wants the whole 10 minutes released? I'm like, I tell you what, Shannon don't go to nightclubs, but he might want to just take a break between Instagram Live and now this. I just want to chill for a little bit. Leave the country. Go somewhere else. Or find a solid 2 or 3. You're single. Find some ride or die 2 or 3 chicks, and just go with that. Don't worry about the strays. Just stick to a solid 2 or 3 that can call you, and you can call them, and you can laugh about it, and you both know what it is, and that's probably got to be over 30. I ain't gonna lie, Shannon. You got to find someone over 30 years old. That was a little young. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not judging you though. Her head game might have been crazy. She might be able to suck start a Harley. I don't know, but I don't know. So no, I do know. Yeah, go a little older, Shannon. So, anyways, that's all I got on that. So just be careful out there, fellas. They out there, the vultures. Yeah, and you're a dead carcass, and they're waiting to eat you. So just be careful. The streets are talking, and the streets are dangerous. All right, y'all. That's all I got. Again, I'm sorry, May 5th, I'll be in Tacoma at Nate Jack's Super Funny Comedy Club. And this weekend, I'm in Peekskill, New York on Friday at the Paramount Valley Theater. And then Saturday, I'm at the Parks Casino in Bensalem, Pennsylvania. All right, y'all. This is Gary Owen. I'll see you next week with the Get Some Podcast.
This motherfucker Gary.